What is going on, my dummies, and welcome to another Digimon Deck Tech for Set 1.5. In today's episode, we are going over a very spicy deck, to say the least. It's Malomyotismon. Now, before I get started, is this deck good? No, I wouldn't say so. This deck is more for fun. It's probably going to be extremely budget-friendly, if I had to say. I'd say it'd probably be about minus 4 cards that are in the deck. I wouldn't say you'd spend more than $50 on this. But do not quote me on that because I'm not good with the market. Market's being weird. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first Digitama that we play is a one-of Pagumon. His inheritable skill says when we attack, discard the top card of our deck. This is really good for what we're trying to do with our level 5s. Our level 5s is probably the most important thing about this deck in particularly. The second Digitama we play is a 4-of Millenniummon. Millenniummon allows us to, when it's destroyed, or when the Digimon is destroyed, we get to draw one card and discard a card from our hand. This is cantripping us into what we're trying to do. Again, we want Malomyotismon in our graveyard. We don't want it in our hand. We don't want to have to evolve into it. So this gets it into the graveyard for us. Moving forward, we have a 3-of Entmon. Everybody loves Digimon in purple. 3 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 1000 DP, which is rather low. When he's destroyed, however, we get to discard 3 cards off the top of our deck. Again, what we're trying to do is get that Malomyotismon in the grave. We only need 1, and then we can start going off with the level 5s that we have. Moving forward, we have a 4-of Gabumon. He says, when destroyed, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card from our hand. Like a broken record, I'm not going to say it anymore. Just some cantripping. The next card that we have as a level 3 is a bit of a spice that I like to add. Now again, you could play a vanilla here if you wanted to, but I like the when destroyed effect that this one gives. It's Tsukaimon. He's 3 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 2000 DP. When destroyed, get 1 memory as an inheritable skill. Now of course we have the Guillemon in set 4, or in set 5 coming, but this Tsukaimon is what I'm looking for. Being able to gain that 1 memory is always really good when we look at what we're attempting to do with this deck. But we'll get there. Like we're quickly moving forward. So moving forward, we have a level 4 in Vilemon. He is our natural blocker. 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6000 DP. He has blocker, and when attacking, minus 2 memory. You're not going to be attacking with him unless you're ending the game, more or less. So he's just here to block, make sure things aren't happening. Again, we can put the Tsukaimon, or we can put a Gabumon up under him, along with a Millenniummon, and make things really difficult for our opponent to attack into because we're gaining so much advantage whenever it dies. Moving forward, we have a Digimon. He is 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 4000 DP. His inheritable skill is the exact same as Tsukaimon, which is get 1 memory when destroyed. Again, this is really good for our plan for our level 5s. If we're able to get Tsukaimon and Digimon, we are in the clear to do what we're trying to do with Malomyotismon. Moving forward, we have a 4-of Millenniummon. He is 5 to play normally, only 1 to evolve, which is really great. 5000 DP. Just our average vanilla. We want to play him so we can turbo into it when we have to. Of course, not having any 2 to hard play is kind of bad. However, this Millenniummon's pretty good. Moving forward, we have Arachnemon. And these are the level 5s I was talking about. Arachnemon is 7 to play normally, 3 to evolve on a purple or green Digimon. So you could technically use this Digimon in a green build and abuse the fact that you could have green inheritable skills. However, I think it works better with purple. 6000 DP is another thing I wanted to go ahead and say, which is different than its counterpart Millenniummon. Both of these do the exact same thing. The only difference is their types, and Millenniummon has 7,000 more power. That's it. Nothing else is really different. However, when they attack, by paying 3 memory, play 1 Malomyotismon from our hand without paying its cost. Then destroy this Digimon. So, of course, if we have the Digimon and the Tsukaimon, we can play a Malomyotismon for 1, which is crazy. I like it. I like it a lot. However, there are some issues with this. We have to get to the Arachnamon or the Mummymon. Of course, you could hard play these. You wouldn't have to not hard play. You wouldn't have to Digivolve up into these. You could literally play one of these on turn 1 if you knew you could get a Malomyotismon into the graveyard during the next turn. You could do that. But I don't recommend it. Now, there is another card that works really well with these guys. Once you start getting the loop started and start getting multiple Malomyotismons put on the battlefield at one time, they do have a reanimation option card that allows you to get these 2 Digimon back on the battlefield for 5, which is still a lot of memory to pay to get them back, but being able to get them back with a Malomyotismon on the field, which is a memory giver in his own right, makes things really difficult for our opponents. Moving forward from the Mummymon and the Arachnamon, we have Malomyotismon. Now, you could put any level 6 you wanted to here. I like Malomyotismon, and I'll give my reasons of why I like it. You could play Boltmon for the vanilla to be able to go into it quicker, or not quicker, but have this big body on the battlefield for less memory is what I should say. You could play the Medical to be able to get level 3s back when you swing with it. You could conceivably play, I don't know, Lilithmon if you wanted to, because we do play a good bit of memory cards and we are milling a lot. Another one that you could play is Piedmon to be able to get the level 4s back to Digivolve into Arachnamon and Mummymon. However, remember, doing so is a lot of memory. So if your opponent's able to deal with it, your opponent's able to deal with it. But I like Malomyotismon. Malomyotismon allows us to deal a damage for free to our opponent. Sometimes that's enough to be able to win the game if we're gaining a bunch of memory off of the Tsukaimon and the Digimon and the Malomyotismon. We're getting a bunch of memory here. So if we're able to play this Malomyotismon for a good cheap cost, then we're able to end the game rather quickly if we have enough attacks left. And it's still our turn, given that it's still our turn. When we Digivolve into, or 12 to play normally, 4 to evolve on a purple or yellow Digimon, 12,000 DP. When we Digivolve into her, we discard 1 security off of both players' top. Then we play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon, that is yellow or purple, from our trash without paying the cost. So again, we're playing Digimon or getting back a blocker or this Millenniummon just so we can get back into Arachnamon or block, etc., etc. So it's always really good. It's another recursion spell to be able to get these 2 back. These 2 are the centric core of the deck. If you don't have these, feels bad, man. Feels real, real bad. Moving forward, we have the namesake card of the deck, which is Malomyotismon. He has 13 to play normally, 5 whopping memory to evolve, 12,000 DP. He says Pierce. So we attack Digimon, we still deal damage. And with him being a rather big body for set 1.5, then it's pretty nice. The second ability he has is during both players' turns. If your other Digimon or your opponent's Digimon are destroyed, get +1 memory for each Digimon destroyed. That is insane. Now, some things I want to point out here. Of course, with Tsukaimon and Digimon, assuming that we have a Mummymon, let's say, alright, we attack with it. Those 2 are up under it. We pay 3 memory to activate this effect to get the Malomyotismon back. The Malomyotismon comes into the battlefield before the Destroy effect. When the Destroy effect triggers, we get +1 memory for Tsukai, +1 memory for Devidra, and 1 memory for Malomyotismon. So it is still technically our turn, and we did it all for free. On top of which, Malomyotismon will not have haste, which is unfortunate. However, at this point, just attacking our opponent's Digimon and controlling their board state is enough to keep it our turn. And be able to evolve even more and even further from what we're actually doing. I wanted to go ahead and go over that because I didn't go over it with the Arachnamon or the Mummymon, but that is freaking cool, man. Of course, like I said, it's very situational. If you don't have the Malomyotismon in the graveyard, then you don't have the access to be able to use the Mummymon or Arachnamon, which is another reason why we want to play a backup level 6 to be able to go into. Now, some people can argue that you don't really need as many as I'm playing, but like I said, I want to get them in the graveyard as much as possible. This deck is built on trying to get as many Arachnamon and Mummymon out as possible, or Malomyotismon at the same time. But moving forward, we actually have a 4 of Millenniummon. This is when I was talking about budget friendly. This card in particular is the only one I can think of that wouldn't be budget friendly. Millenniummon is super expensive now. I expect it to be super expensive until set 4, maybe set 5 comes out, because there's no really good level 7 for purple. However, we're able to go into these Malomyotismons and make it a point where if we have a Mummymon on the battlefield and a Millenniummon, for example, with a Malomyotismon up under it, if our opponent gets rid of the Millenniummon, it comes back because we had something up under it. The Malomyotismon will be in the graveyard for us to trigger Mummymon's ability to get it back. And it's just spamming a bunch of big things. I guess you can call it a Mega Zoo deck if you want to, but that's essentially what this is doing. He's 15 to play normally, 6 to evolve on a black or a purple Digimon, 13,000 power. When we Digivolve, return one of our opponent's Digimon to the bottom of their deck. The rest of the cards up under it are discarded. When he's destroyed, if this Digimon had any Digivolution sources, which is going to be Malomyotismon, you can play this card from your trash without paying its cost. That is a pretty cool combo to be able to get the Malomyotismon in the graveyard, still have that 13k body, which is extremely important. And then on top of which, having the Arachnamon or the Mummymon to be able to get the Malomyotismon back. Moving forward, we have a little bit of removal. Not very much. 2 of Trump Sword. Now, if you didn't want to play the Trump Sword because this deck is very top-end heavy, of course, you could play Matt to make sure you always have 3 memory. This also allows you to recur your Mummymons, your Arachnamon, get your Tsukaimon and Devydramons back if you need to. It can get back your Necrophobia, which is kind of important. You could also play Grizzly Wing if you wanted to. Or Heat Viper, that's another good removal spell for the deck. Moving forward, some other stuff you can play. You can play Dark Despair. This card actually allows you to attack into your opponent's Digimon and still kill it. Or Back for Revenge. Both of these would be good. Come to think of it, I think I would probably do this instead. Because I just love Back for Revenge. I love this card too much. But yeah, moving forward from that, however, we have a 4 of Necrophobia. This is one of those reanimation cards that I was talking about, along with being able to use Millenniummon to get the Malomyotismon in the graveyard after we already Digivolved into it, or Macemon being able to get cards back. Necrophobia allows us, well, 5 costs to play normally. Security effect activates the main effect, which is real important. The main effect is play 1 level 5 purple Digimon from your trash without paying the memory cost. Digimon played by this do not activate their when played abilities. Now, this is not a level 5 or lower. This is exactly a level 5 Digimon. So, of course, using that, we can only get these 2. So if you wanted to play a few more level 5s, just in case, you could take 2 of these out, maybe play Lady Devymon so she can have that on-evolution skill, be able to do something, and still be able to Digivolve into Macemon or Malomyotismon if we need to, and have that option breaker effect that it has. I don't recommend it, because I feel like having too many level 5s is going to clump up, and then you're just going to be hard playing level 5s a lot, and I already have issues doing that, or level 4s to begin with. So I wouldn't highly recommend it, but I highly recommend you play this card. Regardless how many you play, like let's say you do it like this instead, where it's 3 and 3 or 2 and 4, whatever it is. I've been playing around with it, and like when it works, it's so funny. However, it's got to get there, and that's the issue. Like when your opponent knows what's up, and they know what that Malomyotismon does, they're not going to start swinging with their lower stuff. They're going to get their big stuff out on the battlefield first, so your Malomyotismon's not able to get over it. And then after they get up to that point, you're just kind of waiting for an opportunity is the best way to describe it. But guys, that is the deck. I'm going to end the episode off here. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Don't forget to comment. Let me know if there's anything you would change in this deck and how you guys enjoyed it. Also, so hit that subscribe button, guys. Every subscription helps. When I get subscriptions from Digimon, it makes me just want to do more Digimon content as quickly as possible. But until next time, guys, have a blessed one.